Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of T.E.A.M Podcast. Together, everyone achieves more. I'm your host, Vic Quavvis, and today we're doing something a little different. We're bringing candidates directly to you, up in front and center, in a personal way, not just as names on a ballot, but as people, neighbors, parents, community members who are stepping up to serve the city of Waterbury. Throughout today's conversations, we'll be asking questions that go deeper than politics. What's their journey? Why now? Why them? What changes do they want to see in our city? What does this movement mean to them and to all of us? Do they believe there's real hope for transformation? And most importantly, how do we build a stronger team together for the future of Waterbury? You'll meet each candidate one-on-one in a conversation not just about policy, but about vision, character, commitment. So let's get started. What you're going to see here today is snippets of a podcast that I have done, multiple podcasts of different candidates, their visions, their voices, and why they feel that you should vote for them on September 9th and November 4th. So you're going to see 6 candidates up in front and center, and I'm going to give you little snips of it, but you can click the link below. It'll bring you to Optimistic Entrepreneur, my YouTube page, where you can subscribe, become a member, and follow any story that I'm doing here on the T.E.A.M Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you and be clear about one thing. Lorraine Medina, known to many of you as Lori Medina, she is going to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Board of Ed candidate for the City of Waterbury Board of Ed Commission for November 4th. I believe she's going to be a strong candidate and be perfectly fitting for the slate of Board of Ed commissioners for several reasons. Number one, Lori has been a proven leader in the community. She works hard, tirelessly as a private owner of a business. She leads her constituency and her church with her family. She's committed to growth, positive and productive growth. But more importantly, I want you to know that Waterbury has, almost 50% Latino students in their school system, if not more. Lori Medina is bilingual. She grew up in Waterbury. She went to public school system, and she can relate to all the struggles of those families in public education. She speaks 2 languages, Spanish and English, fluently. She can relate to the constituency that's most vulnerable, the Latino community. And I ask that whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, on November 4th, you come out and you support Lori Medina for Commissioner of the Board of Education on the Republican ticket this November 4th, Lori Medina for Board of Ed. So Lori, I mean, listen, your journey's amazing.
Thank you.
I think that the fact that you went to public schools, the fact that you went to college, the fact that you're still going to college and you want to finish and you want to attain that, right? Because that's your goal. It's like you're a fighter. You want to finish something you started, and,
right?
And regardless of the economical constraints and all that stuff, that kind of behavior, that kind of intuitiveness we need on the Board of Ed. We need people like you that saying to kids, don't quit, don't stop,
right.
Fight to the end, get your education. Right. It's the most important thing. Education is the key to every door in the world. Right? So that is what I hear from you loud and clear. I need to tell people what triggered you, what was that transformation that happened that brought you to be the candidate, Lori Medina, for Board of Education Commissioner 2025, November 4th.
Okay, so there was I'm just going to be honest and clear.
Yep.
Okay.
And we want you to.
Yes. There was an event at one of the high schools called Paracon. And I happened to be walking the downtown area with my husband. And he never asks to go walk in downtown. I do. But this day, he said, let's go walk in downtown. I said, okay. So we're walking downtown and we passed by a store that had a flyer. And the flyer was mentioning Paracon on it. And I saw that the themes on the flyer, it was like clashing with my heart, because it was things about like talking with the dead and all this paranormal dark topics that just, as a believer, I don't stand for
It
it.
didn't resonate with your
Right.
ideology, yeah.
But what struck me more was when I saw the location, it was at Crosby High School.
Wow.
And for those that don't know, Waterbury has been going through lots of loss with our young people. Car accidents, stabbings, murders. And I'm like, no wonder we are under this covering of death, because we are calling it into our schools where the young people go. And I really couldn't just ignore it, right? It was always in the back of my mind and in my heart, like, this is not okay. So I went to go see. I didn't go inside, but from a distance, I did see a hearse roll up, and they pulled out a casket and they brought that into the school. And I began to weep, and I said, this is what we are proclaiming for our young people, death. And I wanted to speak out on that, because I didn't see it fit to have an event like that at a school. Right. Do it at an auditorium, do it somewhere else, but not at a school. So I went to an alderman meeting, and we went to advocate for the rising of the Christian flag. And before I get off the podium, something kind of like clicked and was like, wait a minute, Paracon. Yeah. And I wasn't even supposed to talk about that. I wasn't even going to mention any of that. So I gave my piece. I said, if we proclaim death, we're going to garner death. But if we proclaim life, we're going to have life.
Amen.
And we want life for our businesses, life for our young people, life for our city. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Little did I know that was going to go viral on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I get a call. Well, I didn't get a call. I get a message that same night from someone in our team, Abigail Diaz. Okay. She said, Lori, we need you. But I didn't see that until the next morning. So when I look at my messages, and she said, we need someone to run for Board of Education. Like, you're the voice that we need. And I wrote back to her saying, I think this is a mistake. Like, and she goes, no, it's not a mistake. And I spoke to you. I told you, Vic, I would love to do it, but I got to talk to my parents about it, my husband. I want their guidance.
And you want to pray on it?
Yeah, I wanted to pray on it. And because I'm not a politician, I've never done public service. And then, with everything that is on my plate right now, I was like, let me just really consider it, because we don't want to just jump into things because we want a title. We don't want to jump into things because we're going to be known. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it right. You're going to do it through and through. Mm-hmm. You die with your boots on.
Amen.
So after consulting with my parents and my husband, and they said, yes, we need somebody that can speak for the children, for the schools. I told you yes. And here we are.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And
I kept my word.
Great story. Great story. So, Lori, again, thank you so much. Like, that story is amazing, right? Like, you basically told us that transformational time and what clicked and how you felt compelled. And as you go through this process now, you've learned that you are qualified. You're overqualified. And we look forward to having you on this ticket. We look forward to getting you elected. And the people of Waterbury should open, their hearts and their minds and say, it's time for change. The change is now. Lori Medina for Board of Ed, November 4th. Lori, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
You're going to
me.
be fabulous, and the kids can't, they nobody wants more. And guess what? You're going to deliver that, and the parents of the city of Waterbury should be proud that they're going to elect Lori Medina. You're a pillar in our community, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You just saw a piece of the podcast for Lori. Click the link below. Go to Optimistic Entrepreneur on my YouTube station. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Watch Lori's full podcast to listen to her whole story, her whole journey of how she became who she is today and why she's running for Board of Ed. And now I want to take you to my next candidate is Abigail Diaz. Abigail Diaz is a very strong candidate for alderman by district. She is in the 3rd district. Abigail Diaz ran for state representative twice. Abigail has become a seasoned person in understanding the civic engagement and how it works. But more importantly, she's pure. She's pure in the fact that she's doing this, running for office, because she believes that the city of Waterbury needs people that really care about the city, not just about certain things, about all things, not just about budgets, not just about schools, but about beautification, about families, about being vested in the community and building a place where people want to be. And that piece is an element that's missing throughout the city. We go through the different parts of the city and you see some detriment because there's certain areas that are not taken care of. Abigail's a fighter. She believes in making sure that there's equality amongst all parts of the city and that we're taking care of the city. She believes in accountability. I believe that she's a strong woman leader. The fact that she has been vocal in community groups and in local initiatives, Abigail will be a great choice for the 3rd to represent you folks up in the 3rd district for alderman in my district. Take a quick look at a snip of a podcast Abigail participated on T.E.A.M podcast. Take a look at this.
Yes, I came from a family of servicemen. They're veterans, police officers, correction officers. I wanted to be a police officer, but I ended up being a nurse because my mother said, why does everybody want to be a police officer? So I ended up being a nurse. I've been a nurse now for 14 years. I did hospice for 4 of the years, and then I've been at the Bradley home now. I work with the elderly community. I've been married. I've been divorced. I have 3 sons out of my marriage. My oldest is in college now. This is his junior year. My second son is just getting into middle school. I just put him into private Christian school. And my youngest, he is 4.5. And he was just diagnosed with autism. And so now I have him in like programs on top of programs.
So kudos to you. That's quite a journey, as a human being, as a mother, and the fact that, you're still holding the household down with 3 kids and, one with special needs and kid in college. I mean, that's, hats goes off to you and the work that you're doing.
With my son being autistic, the program that they have like right now is the Annex program in Bucks Hill, which is only like a 2-hour time frame for 2 sets of children. So you have like a 9 to 11, and then you have a 12 to 2, and these kids are bused there, bused home. So that's 4 bus trips. Then this last summer there wasn't enough teachers, so they didn't even have a summer program. So not having a summer program for an autistic child, it could set them back a lot. Like they have to constantly have reinforcement and repetitive teaching all day long. So even just the 2 hours is really nothing, but it's something. So then I see that, okay, Waterbury is lacking in the special education department as well. And then, watching alderman meetings, they would like send, I don't know, they have like a handful of kids that go to out of city programs where they have more resources, and we spend millions to bus them, to have them get an education there.
Yeah, so basically what you're alluding to is the city of Waterbury collects taxes from taxpayers with children who have special needs, and we're paying other towns to provide services for us because we don't have.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a hard sell for taxpayers. I want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to interject, but I have to. What I'm reading from you on a personal and upfront basis is that you're a nurturing parent, you're a nurturing person being a nurse, and your nurturing nature has brought you into the realm of politics because Waterbury needs some nurturing. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the makeup of the Board of Education, the different men and women that serve, regardless of the parties, everybody brings something different to the table. And the fact that you have your niche, and your niche is beautification, clean energy, you hands-on experience with special education with your little one, you being a nurse, understanding that those dynamics of people's needs, working with the elderly. So
working with the vulnerable more.
Yeah, you're going to bring something that is very much needed on the Board of Ed. That insightfulness that you bring is going to give a personal touch to the decisions that are made. Not every decision that you'll make as a Board of Ed member,
alderman,
I'm sorry, as an alderman, is not going to be based on money, right? Some decisions are based on budgetary natures, but others are based on human nature. And I think on both ends, right? You're a single mom holding down a household in Bunker Hill. You're balancing your own budget at home, right? Taking care of your children. That ability already qualifies you. And I try to tell people to make some sound economical decisions for the city. But the other part that you're going to bring is something that we lack, I believe, is empathy and the ability to really see the needs of the community. I'm going to tell you, I have really, really take a vested interest in following all the candidates, and the fact that you're in Waterville Community Club, this community club, neighborhood plaza over here, beautification. I see you as a single mom, seeing you at so many functions. You put in your sweat equity to the community. So, kudos to you and all the stuff you do. Welcome back. And there's Abigail Diaz for you. If you want to watch the whole podcast, like I said, click the link below. Optimistic Entrepreneur. Watch the entire podcast with Abigail. Don't forget to subscribe, Optimistic Entrepreneur. Now I'm going to talk to you about Alan Leon. Alan Leon is a retired medical professional. He was an anesthesiologist for many years. Alan has a great story. It's a must-listen-to podcast. I'm going to support Alan, and my reason for supporting Alan, and I'm asking you folks out there in the 4th District to support Alan, because he has no skin in this game. He's retired. He don't need money. He doesn't need power. He wants change. And he's come out of retirement to say, enough is enough. I want to drive change. I want to make good decisions that are going to affect my constituency in a positive and productive manner. So, unlike some folks that are currently serving. So, here's a quick snip of Alan Leon. Watch the snip. I'll be right back with you.
I said, there's going to be an election coming up. How can I best serve the people of Waterbury? I still live here. I could move away. I elect not to because this is my home. So now is my time in life. And again, this is a calling, Victor, to give back to everyone who lives in this city. I'm very fortunate. I don't need money. I don't want to make a career of this. At my age, I'm here for however long I am to improve and maybe change the direction of the downhill slope that Waterbury is undergoing, and to bring some integrity back, but to make the city safer for people that are afraid to drive in the city, that they've been victims of crime, to improve the quality of life with also the responsibility of being fiscally responsible and accountable and being transparent. Part of our focus is always to educate people, educate them as to what and the reason why we're doing things, spending money, not spending money. We shouldn't be buying buildings unless it's a sure winner for the city where it can bring more revenue in. Bringing businesses back. Businesses aren't coming into Waterbury, downtown Waterbury.
Not at all.
The box stores, the malls, they're on a downward slope. You look at successful cities like New Britain, and you try to model what that particular mayor, Aaron Stewart, has done for
Great job. Great job she's done there, yeah.
So this is why I'm there. This is why I'm donating my time, my effort, and I may be the first alder to not take a paycheck from the alders.
Well, that
will be a first for the city.
That would be a first.
I think by law you may have to take $1.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe something.
But then I would use the other money for some sort of charity or something.
Right.
I don't need it. So I'm not out for profit or gain in any way. It's my mission to give back. I want to contribute more to society than to take from it.
That's a profound statement. You know,
That's my
to
being.
give to society more, to give more than to take from it. Alan, that is so genuine that's why, I believe in what you believe, and I'm a fan, and I wish
You brought that out in me because
Listen.
I really don't talk about this stuff.
Listen, this is amazing stuff. I want to thank you for coming out today. I want people to understand who Alan Leon is. Now, there's Alan Leon. To watch his full podcast, you must see it. Great stories of his journey. Click the link below, Optimistic Entrepreneur, and watch the entire show with Alan Leon on T.E.A.M's podcast. Now, I'm going to talk to you, and don't forget to subscribe. Now I'm going to talk to you about Michael Grasso. Michael Grasso is in the 3rd district. He is one of the most enthusiastic, one of the most energetic individuals running in this race. Michael Grasso ran before, and let me tell you a quick story. He won the primary last time he ran, lost in the general. This time, Mike's going to get by both times because he's well and ready to serve. He's been working hard, and he's building his team. I believe Mike will be a good alderman. I'm asking everybody in the 1st district to get out and vote Michael Grasso and Jameson Stock. Now, Michael Grasso is committed to holding the administration accountable. Based on that alone, I'm all in with Michael Grasso. Take a look at Michael Grasso, a piece of his time here on my podcast, T.E.A.M podcast with Michael Grasso. Take a look at this. Every time I talk to you, it's the same emphasis. It's not about a Republican or Democrat. It's about the people you serve. And Mike, if you could serve Waterbury like that, you're going to be a great alderman. You're going to do a good job. If there's anything that you can say right now, if it's like your last breath, right? And this is crunch time. We have tomorrow makes 7 days before the election. What do you want viewers to know?
So I want the people of Waterbury to know that if you elect me to be on the board of aldermen, you're going to get somebody that takes fiscal responsibility, and every tax dollar that you have to pay front of mind on every decision I make. It's no longer going to be the favoritism, hey, I'm going to vote yes just because it benefits the elite people of Waterbury, or the few elites, the core group. Great. All of my decisions will be made thinking as a taxpayer of Waterbury, because that's what I am. I'm not wealthy. I don't have an agenda. I'm not agenda driven. I don't work in the city of Waterbury, so they can't buy me. I'm my own man. I'm a thinker for myself. I don't need somebody else to tell me how to vote. I will deep dive every single issue that comes before me. the people on our team want to caucus before the meetings. They want to take that agenda and actually sit down, rip that agenda apart, and look at it and say, is this going to benefit the people of Waterbury, or is this going to benefit the people that probably don't even live in Waterbury, but don't need any more benefiting, right? So there's that. Infrastructure in the neighborhood, all right? Sidewalks. Those things need to be front and center. You know, that there's a lot of sidewalks that are broken down, they're cracked, half of them aren't even there anymore, they're overgrown. Stuff like that is important. You know, if your neighborhood looks good, people start to feel good. Right. The community comes together.
It's a buy-in. Once you start addressing some of the blight, you know, the infrastructure,
that's important.
If you're fiscally responsible and you're ensuring that tax dollars are spent correctly,
right?
You know,
that's where tax dollars should be.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Mike, I want to thank you, man. I think that you are going to do great things, and you know, keep working hard, keep identifying your voters. I know you're out there, boots on the ground, on the phones.
Absolutely.
And you know, the other thing is that, you know, I want to throw it out there. This show is going to go on the 5th of September. So any volunteers, you know, they can contact you know, the Republican headquarters on Grant Street, 190 Grant Street, looking for some volunteers as well. We have a good core of people working there, but again,
I have some.
Mike, thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Vic.
And remember, Row A, 1st District, Mike Grosso, Jameson Stock, and Waterbury Alderman.
Please get out and vote, please.
That's Michael Grosso. Want to watch his full podcast interview here on Teams? Please click the link below, subscribe to Optimistic Entrepreneur, and watch the full podcast with Michael Grosso. Our next candidate is Terrence Lott Jr. He's running in November for Board of Ed Commissioner. Terrence Lott will be a great Board of Ed Commissioner. I endorse him 100%, and I ask you to make sure that you come out and endorse Terrence Lott Jr. for Board of Ed November 4th. Terrence Lott is a strong community guy, has been involved with youth. He's only 33 years old. He's been involved since he's 21. So for 12 years, he's been a youth advocate. He's a police officer in Danbury. He's a former police officer at Waterbury, and he served at PAL as a police officer. Many of you know him as Cito, and I'm asking you to come out and support Terrence Lott. Here's a little snip of Terrence on the Team Podcast. Take a look at Terrence on the Team Podcast. When you're a Board of Ed member, right, you know, if you could put into like a couple of sentences or bullet points, what are a couple of the things that you would like to see improve for students in Waterbury?
Just kind of knowing what they have available to them, right? There's a lot of kids that don't know the programs that exist in the city. They just know about this and that, whatever. If you don't need it, teachers don't tell you, you don't know.
Right.
Parents move here, they don't know. Oh, you have this, oh, you have that. This is this. No, like kind of be informative and let them know, hey, this is we have all these options available to you. You
Right.
pay taxes for it. You know,
Right.
you're entitled to it.
Right.
If you want the services,
Right.
please feel free to use them, take advantage of it while we have it. Because once they graduate, unfortunately, there's not really much that we can, as far as the Board of Ed goes, or Waterbury Public Schools. Once they graduate high school or graduate ed, wherever they're doing, they're out. They're kind of done with us, right? They
Right.
kind of move on to the world, and they kind of have to figure it out on their own.
Right.
So that's the what I want to do is make sure they know this is available.
So you want to build like an infrastructure
just
that connects information to the community
Yeah.
from the Board of Ed or the Education Department.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's a big deal, by the way. You know, that's a big deal. Information
Mhm.
or the lack thereof information.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And I see it all the time. You know, me in my public service of 30 years,
Mhm.
you know, being supervisor of recreation and, you know, 200 employees and families coming in, I could tell you that how many times people walk into the office and we're Parks and Rec and we're doing social services. We're referring people to programs because they don't know about it.
Don't know.
Yeah. And so I'm glad that you would be willing to take on that initiatives, and how do you build that bridge, right? you could talk about this all day. I mean, there's Parent Square, there's the internet.
Yeah.
I think that, sometimes you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You bring the show to the community.
Yeah.
I think there's a lack of that. There's a lack of, if you ask most people, who are your Board of Ed commissioners? They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Oh.
They don't know. So I ask of you, when you become a Board of Ed commissioner,
Mhm.
don't do like some folks right now,
Mhm.
take the title and serve.
Yeah.
Right? And think that that's it. That's the beginning and the end. You should find time, and I know you have already, because I know you joined the Town Plot Neighborhood Association.
Yeah.
And because you live up there, you want to be part of the association, you want to attend, you want to go to churches, you want to go to school, your community events, and say, hey, I'm a Board of Ed commissioner. Let me tell you what I want to hear. Some of your complaints, some of your stories. What can I do to help you? So,
well, that's the thing too. Even the Town Plot Neighborhood Association, right? So my schedule as far as police officer, I worked a lot of doubles, right? That's the only way the policemen were able to survive. Like you have to work extra duty overtime.
Yeah, of course.
So I end up working a lot of times. But when I went the one time, a lot of the members in the association they're all somewhat older, right? So their kids may have not necessarily be in the school system anymore.
Right.
They're kind of, even that part of it, like, growing up, especially like in black community, we don't know about certain like we don't hear about that stuff.
Right.
We don't understand like certain just how things go as far as especially politics. We don't kind of talk about it. It's just kind of leave it on hush. You kind of see what you see, do what you do.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Right.
Right.
As other communities, other families might have those debates at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Or the dinner table. Like they have those
great
conversations. We don't have that.
That's a great analogy.
We're just trying to I want people to know, like, you have communities, you have, I didn't even know, like, the community police officers, they go there, they talk, but they do their business. And I didn't know that until I got into the job. I had no clue. So back prior to 25, I was very, like, blind to all this. I didn't see it.
I want to take this back to something you said that really struck a nerve for me is, you just said that a lot of folks in the minority community, whether they be African-American or Hispanics, we don't have those political conversations at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And see, what I'm seeing more and more in this generation with African-Americans and Hispanics is that you guys are starting to talk about it.
Yeah.
That is so huge because, listen, I'm going to be 62 years old, and, growing up poor and single mom, and we were always told Democrats are for the poor and Republicans for the rich.
Absolutely.
And it is such a fallacy, man. Yeah. That's not real. Like, don't believe that. You know what I mean?
Even how I look at it now, how seriously, like, there are diehard Republican Democrats. This is worse than like gangs. I'm like, wow, this is. I don't talk to them. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
So that's another.
No.
So the point that you brought out of me is that, I want the viewers to know what I'm starting to see from guys like Cito and Adrian Sanchez, who's going to come on a little later.
And Andrew Cusham.
And Andrew Cusham, you guys that are young, that are in this. And, Abigail's significantly young. She's 43. But at the end of the day, you guys are talking about this. And you got to pick a party, right?
Yeah.
But you got to ask yourself, and people ask me all the time, why is it that a lot of these guys went over to the Republican Party? And basically, a lot of people in Waterbury don't realize that if you go back, and I'm not telling you that this is because Vic Quavvis is saying it.
Yeah.
I'm saying it because go to the library or go on the internet and go over the last 40 years and look at who your mayor's been, look who chiefs of staff have been, look who has been in charge of different departments.
Yeah.
Chief of police, chief of fire, whatever. Listen, and we'll call it what it is. Go back and look at the history of Waterbury, and over the last 40 years, it has been controlled by a certain population of folks, and this is not a pro-Black, pro-Hispanic, anti-Anglo-Saxon. I'm not talking about that. I'm not trying to be racist or reverse racist. I'm just being real. So the bottom line is that there's such a large Hispanic and African-American population, and very few African-Americans and Hispanic are allowed in the door in leadership roles. And then what happens is, guys like you, guys like Adrian, guys like Andrew Cusham that are trying to come onto the scene, people are saying, wait, why are you guys with the Republicans? oh, you guys are with Trump. No, I try to tell people, disassociate Trump national politics.
Trump is not.
Yeah, Trump is
Trump is Trump.
Trump is Trump. He's gonna do his thing.
Yeah,
Right.
he's gonna do. What
We
he's gonna
are
do.
talking about local politics.
Yeah.
Politics is local.
Yeah.
If I believe,
Mhm.
if the Democrats, right, for a long time, the current Democrats that are in there, had they allowed, right, change to happen, right,
Mhm.
over attrition, people leaving, and allowed certain people in, the Democratic Party would look different right now. Now, if you want to watch the full podcast with Terrence on it, you can click the link below, Optimistic Entrepreneur, and watch the full interview up front, in close and center with Terrence Lott Jr. Now, my next candidate is for Board of Aldermen in the 5th District, Adrian Sanchez. Adrian Sanchez is an 18-year police veteran, lives on West Liberty Street, right down by Home Depot, has never left the neighborhood. Adrian Sanchez is running for alderman in the 5th District. Adrian Sanchez is involved in the community, is constantly very visible in the community, engaged in different organizations. Adrian loves his community, loves his family, loves the people, and he's all over the city doing right by its citizens. A guy like that, we need him in office. He means well, he wants the best for Waterbury, and his heart is in it. And when talking to Adrian, what I get out of Adrian is that he wants to stay here, build here, and be better. So with that being said, take a look at Adrian Sanchez for alderman in the 5th District.
My roots run deep here, and it's something that I'm very passionate about at this point in time. And it's not only because of my personal, interactions that I had, whether they were negative or not. I want to make things positive for my constituents, right? I want them to have the best experience of what the city has to offer. I always feel like Waterbury is just on this stale line for so many years, and I feel like it could just, if it just had that push, we could finally, get over that hump. Right. and become the city that I know we could be.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have any personal interests involved here. I don't have any 501Cs. You can't, buy my votes on this board of aldermen.
Right.
It's been, shown and proven that other aldermen, especially on the Republican side, they're already devoted to the Democrats. I mean, that's their. I want to get up there and I want to have help Jack Alseth if I can.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of alderman meetings and I see that this man speaks up and he tries to do his best, but he doesn't have the full backing of his fellow Republican colleagues on that board.
Right.
So pretty much his vote, goes stale.
Right.
So I want to get up there. I want to try to help. I want to try to push policies that actually make sense. Let's vote for taxes that make sense. Let's give full support to our schools, to our Board of Education, and overall, let's just be fair.
Yeah.
Let's just be fair to our citizens and ourselves, and let's just give opportunities. Let's just try to get more youth programs out here. When I was a kid, I felt like there was a lot of things to do. I drive around now and there's nothing for kids to do. I get it. In the summertime, you have the pools and things like that. But other than that, I mean, outside of really PAL, there's really not much going on. I feel like, the youth programs have been neglected. In the
We can't forget about my Little League Day.
Well, no, yeah, you do have your Little League. Kudos to you. And that's growing every year. My little one's involved in that, but like I said, the more the better. You know? So I'm just here. I'm trying to do the best for Waterbury again. I'm not about rubber stamping agendas for anybody, Democrats, Republicans. I'm not about the rubber stamp, to be honest with you.
Well, listen. Let me just close real quick for you about one thing that people need to understand. The mayor's office is a separate entity to the Board of Aldermen, and the mayor's office cannot control the board.
Of course, and
unfortunately, that's not the case right now.
No.
And so I just want the people to know out there that this is two governing bodies. Think about the Board of Aldermen, the mayor's office. The Board of Aldermen that's supposed to have checks and balances to the mayor's agenda. And you will learn in your journey as an elected official is that not all democratic ideas are bad. Some you would vote sometimes with the Democrats.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. We're not promoting people to go on the Board of Aldermen and vote no all the time.
Of course.
You have to do your due diligence and be cognizant of what you're voting for to ensure that what you vote for, yes, how will it affect the people, my next door neighbor? And that's not happening. So to your point, I appreciate everything you said. Get out September 9th, vote row A. Adrian Sanchez, Jack Alsop, row A, September 9th. Biggest election ever in Waterbury. I look for everybody to come out. The numbers are not going to be extraordinarily high, but, you know, I'm going to keep optimistic and hopefully that we get over 200 votes. I would love to see that.
Let's see.
The win numbers around 180, but I think we can get over 200 if people get out and vote. Thank you very much, and thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you out here.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to watch Adrian's full interview, I think it's great for you young people out there to watch it, people in the community. You know, click the link below, go on Optimistic Entrepreneur. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me inform everybody about something very important. All these individuals here today have running mates, and I'm going to run them to you in order. The Republican Party in Waterbury has endorsed the following candidates. In the 1st District for Alderman is Michael Grasso and Jameson Stock. In the 2nd District is Andrew Crusham and Ruben Rodriguez. In the 3rd District is Abigail Diaz and Kelly Zimmerman. In the 4th District is Ray Melendez and Alan Leon. In the 5th District is Adrian Sanchez and Jack Alsop. Those are the 10 candidates today. And then the other 2 candidates, of course, that we have on our ticket in November are going to be Cito, which I call him Cito, but his name is Terrence Lott Jr. Terrence Lott Jr. for Board of Ed. The other Board of Ed member that's going to be endorsed by the Republican Party in November is Lorraine Medina. We know her as Lori Medina, but her real name is Lorraine. So that's what you'll see on the ticket. You'll see Terrence Lott Jr. On the ticket for Board of Ed Commissioner and Thomas Van Stone for Board of Ed Commissioner. Those 3 will be our candidates on the education side. So they'll be on the ticket. So we'll have 13 people on our ticket. I ask you to support them in November when they all get to November. But for right now in the primary, remember, you have to go with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th district candidates in this primary, which I've given you their names. If you need more information, feel free to reach out. Our headquarters is 190 Grant Street. You can stop by. We're open all day there until November 4th. And again, let me close by saying this election is so important. It's not just a regular election. It's going to tip the scale, change the faces, change the voices, change the ideas through different lenses. Don't sit back and allow this opportunity to pass you. If you're tired of the status quo, get out and vote. Get out and vote and make a difference. Don't sit back and vote for somebody just because they already are serving. If they're already serving and doing their jobs, vote them in. If they're not doing their jobs, vote them out. It is your job. You run this team. You, the citizens of Waterbury, are the owners of these seats, not the people who are serving. The people who are serving are just playing a role to something they owe you, the taxpayer. So you should get out, vote who you want in because they work for you. You don't work for them. It's time to wake up, get up, and vote. Vote row A, September 9th, for our 10 candidates in every district. Row A in every district, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when this is over, we're going to get to November, and I'm telling you, vote for our candidates because you deserve better, and we're going to give it to you.